Well, hello. My name is Christy Ruffino, and I want to welcome you to the Profitable Book Incubator book creation course. This is Module 2. I am going to go ahead and try to switch over to my slides this time. Okay, I can see you all. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen this time. Awesome. I went through about 10 minutes in the last class without slides. So I'm glad that you are with me and I am with you. So the goal of this course is to help you write a signature book that attracts clients. And on the last module, what we focused on was your why. We need to make sure with pretty much anything we do that our why is big enough so that we actually finish. And we talked about creating that motivation piece and make sure that we really kind of had a good grip on the purpose of our book, not only for ourselves, but for our clients, in hopes that that's enough that we need to make sure we finish our book. And today, what we're going to be focusing on is which book you should write right now. So I don't know if you are anything like me, but I have a lot of things swimming around in my head all the time. And when you are on the book journey, it can be really exciting, but it can also be a bit confusing. We're not sure which book to write. And then if we have a good idea of which book to write, we want to be really clear on the value to our clients. We don't want to be a Jill of all trades. We want to become known as the expert in this specific area while we're really focusing on creating this book as well as marketing it to build our signature business and our signature brand. So things can be confusing. We have a lot of different directions on which way to go, but we want to get really clear on our focus for ourselves again, as well as our clients. So the key to building a magnetic brand is to really become known as a master in your area of expertise. And how do we do that? And why do we want to do that? Why do we want to limit ourselves? What would you do if you had to have brain surgery? Would you go to your general doctor or would you go to a brain surgeon? Well, I don't know about you, but I sure don't want my general physician operating on my brain. And so we really want to become known as the expert in one area. And if we've got too many things going on in our business, we create confusion with our audience on how we can best help them. I'm going to give you a little kind of an exercise here to demonstrate this. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say 7 numbers. And I want to see if you can remember these 7 numbers. 8, 44, 96, 50, 73, 12, and 32. Can anybody remember all of those numbers?
Nope.
All right, let's try this. Let's give you an audio and a visual. 8, 44, 96, 50, 73, 12, 32. Can you remember any of those numbers, specifically even in the order? Maybe a couple of them now, because you were able to hear them both ways, but is there anybody that can tell me all 7 of them? No. What if I were to say 44, 44, 44, 44, 44, 44, 44? Would you be able to tell me what number I said? Yeah, and that's really the focus of our book, is we want to make sure that we are having a very congruent message on what our book's going to contain, who we're going to help, and make sure we really deliver the value. So one of the things we want to do too when we're putting our book together is we want to make sure we really recognize the end result. And depending on what your focus is for your book, I would say the majority of us that are on the call want to use our book as a way to kind of elevate our platform, whether it's to become a coach in our business, to become seen as a more of a niche expert in our business, or maybe we're just looking to become a speaker. But we really want to know what the end result is and how our book is going to fit in to our business model. And that's one of the things we're going to focus on today is our business model, as well as I'm going to show you a way that you can actually make money with your book before it's even written. So let's get down to the basics and let's start understanding the fundamentals of all this. So when we're putting our book together, we want our book to become aligned with our overall marketing strategy. And when we're building our business in a way that people are going to pay for our products and services, there are different steps of that process of how people will invest in your support. First of all, we have step one, which is your wisdom. People will pay for your wisdom, but they're not going to pay a lot. We can get information anywhere. We can get information for free anywhere. The information you get on Google may not be as good, or the information your clients get on Google may not be as good as the information you have to share, but they don't know that upon first glance. They need to get to know you and really recognize your value. But in the support step, that's where we're going to just share information. Step two is to be able to share your knowledge as well as give support. Now that's your kind of your next level of the process. That's where you're going to be able to still share a lot of wisdom in a group or a mass setting, but now you're going to be able to give support in a group setting as well. And then the third step is where they're going to actually invest more because now you're giving them other aspects of the process that's going to allow them to get the results that they're looking to get. Let me break this down a little bit further. And it all comes in the pricing piece. So we've got three types of customers. We have the first customer that's really only interested in paying for knowledge. And this is where you're going to put together items of your offering that will help you build a list, help you get known and seen, and help you build a following. This is where you're going to have your freemiums, like your free downloads. You may have a DIY program that's very, very inexpensive or free, a mini course or a challenge. And this is where your book is going to come into place. This is where you're going to be able to deliver a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom, mix a few stories in there, but it's going to be the lowest thing on your value ladder. The next thing is when you're going to start bringing qualified people into your process, they're going to want to pay, a little bit more. So once they become interested and they're starting to get your knowledge, they're going to want more information from you. They're going to be qualified. You're going to be qualified to them and they're going to be qualified to you. You know that they're potentially your ideal client and you will have additional pieces that you will offer them that will provide knowledge as well as support. And this would be as a course. This would be as coaching or group training or possibly a mastermind. And the pricing that you can charge for these various offerings are anywhere between $100 to $1,000. And your first area with the interested people, they're usually free to under $100. Now, the third step in this, as far as our customers go, is when they move from qualified to committed. They've already gotten some information from us. They've already got a few results because they've worked with you on a group kind of a setting. But now you've got committed people that really want more than just knowledge and support. Now they need direct support from you and accountability. This is where they're going to pay more money, $1,000 and up. I know I went to an event for Lisa Sasovich. She is a sales coach. I went to this about 8 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. And somebody invited me. It was kind of like my first dive into the whole personal development world. And I loved it. I got some great training. At the end of the program, there's a couple offers throughout the program from other experts, but the whole focus of this event was to lead people on a journey to realize how much value she could provide and how she could help us with our businesses. And she had a low end offering. I don't even remember what that was. Whatever it was too expensive for me at that time. But then her main offer that she was focusing on converting the most amount of people into was her diamond program. And the investment for that was $100,000. And she made the offer, and I sat there with my mouth open. I probably should have, lifted my chin up. And I thought that was crazy. But what was more crazy to me was that people were running up to do it. There was probably about 12 women, because it was a limited, only so many people could be in this, elite program that included a trip and all these great things. But to come up with $100,000 to invest in a coaching program was insane to me at that time. But since then, I've seen other coaches charge a lot of money as well. And so once you start building your following and adding all of these different levels to your business, it's not something that's out of your reach. But I wanted to kind of share this out with you, because when you're kind of creating your initial value ladder, you want to make sure you know where your book is going to fall into place with all of this. So I do have a handout, and that handout does go through these first couple slides, and then we're going to go to the next slide, which is going to share a little bit about different ways your book can make you money. One more slide before that, because this is about the 3 stages of building your list. So when you're building your expert business, it's all about your list. And the more people you have on your list, the more you'll be able to convert clients. So when we break down the different stages of building your list, you have the first level where you have between 0 and 5,000 people on your list. This is when you're building relationships. This is when you can make some great offerings, but you're very limited on the conversion because your list isn't big enough, especially if you're under 3,000 people on your list. So your book is a great way to build your list. So when you do have these other offerings, your conversion will be higher. The next step is when you're getting more into your list building. You have 5,000 to 25,000 people on your list. This is when you're going to be able to break away from those one-on-one sales conversations, because in the initial relationship building piece, it's more about networking, getting to know people. It's about having one-on-one enrollment conversations. It's about getting to know people to make sure it's a good fit, you're a good fit for them. But once you get to have 5,000 people on your list, your conversion rate becomes much higher when you put things out on social media as well as emails. And then finally, on the third level of this list building expert stages is when you become an authority and you have 25,000 people on your list or higher, and then that's when you can offer high-end experiences. So these were kind of really meant to give you an overview of like the different things that you can do as you're building your expert business and how your book actually fits into that. And then these are different ways that your book can immediately bring you benefits. So of course, book sales on and offline. And we actually went through a bunch of these on the last call, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these, but you can sell your books online, offline. You're going to be able to have improved customer satisfaction because you'll be able to share your books with your clients. Either they'll buy them or you're gifting them to them. I know when we're looking to bring clients in, a lot of times we may have people that aren't the right fit at that moment, but if we give them our book, we're creating that goodwill and that connection where they may not be a client now, but they may never be a client, but they'll possibly be a good referral partner for you. So there's a lot of great things that a book will help in that way. It will allow you to up-level your existing brand, increase your current pricing, add more offerings. List building, of course, using a book to build your list and use it as a funnel, a free book funnel is amazing. You'll be able to be invited more readily to virtual summits and online offerings. You'll be able to host your own events and speak on other people's stages as well as your own stages. And then I am going to share my $1,000 in a day reoccurring leverage income stream strategy in a little bit. So what I want you to do is kind of take a moment to just look at the handout of the different stages of your expert business. On the bottom of the second page is where your value ladder is kind of positioned. So as we go through this, you can kind of jot down ideas of how you're going to have your book fit into the overall business model that you have for yourself right now. So let's dive a little bit deeper into your specific business model. All right, so what we want to do is get really clear on who this book is for and define your niche market. And we want it to be simple as possible. It's not necessarily your ideal client avatar, but just who the general, what you would generally call your niche market in 2 to 3 words. And I'm going to actually have some examples in a bit, but I want to give you time to kind of jot down for your business, who is your book for, and what are the problems that they struggle with? What keeps them up at night? What do they desperately want help with? And then the solution that you are providing them. And then finally, what is the dream outcome? People don't usually want a solution unless there is a result after that. How is their life going to be different? How is their world going to change? So take a few moments. We're not going to wait for 5 whole minutes, but take a few moments to kind of jot down some thoughts on those areas. And this is important to get clear on this because we're going to really go next into ensuring that this is a book that's actually going to help you achieve your goal, and that if this book is going to be something that's going to actually make you money. We don't want to spend a lot of time doing something that's not really going to be worth our time. All right, so who is the book for? What are they struggling with? What is your solution? And what is their dream outcome? So now that you've got these kind of jotted down and you have an idea in your head, at least somewhat, what your book is going to be focused on, let's look and see if it will pass the $1 million idea test. And they call this the $1 million idea test, but it's really only a $100,000 idea test. But it's really, if this book is going to help us build a 6-figure business. So think about what it is that you're providing and how you're helping your niche market, and will they pay for this result? That's what we want to look at. Will people actually pay for this? We may have great wisdom, but will people pay for that outcome? That's what we really want to look at. So let's look at a couple of examples. Example number 1. The niche market for this would be overweight men. The solution, the simple solution, is just weight loss. The system would be to speak, and speak to be able to sell books. Maybe you're speaking online, maybe you're doing other things online, but sell books that would lead into a free consultation that would have this $47 great weight loss roadmap. So this is part of the value ladder. The first thing people are going to invest in is this, $47 very inexpensive offering. But once those prospects actually do this roadmap and get the results, they're going to want more support, and that will lead them to a $450 21-day weight loss group challenge. You're not going to expect people to jump right into $450 with you unless they know you. But as you're going through your cold marketing or speaking or doing things online, you want to have like a step-by-step process in your value ladder to get people to know, like, and trust you, so they will invest a little bit more money. But if you are an overweight man and you got this great roadmap and you loved it, there were some great resources attached to it, and great step-by-step plan, and you were seeing results, wouldn't you very easily spend $450 if you could lose a little bit more weight and you got more results and you were able to achieve your goals faster and better? Most overweight men would. I mean, heck, the weight loss industry is huge and people are spending tons of money to get those results. But say that same overweight man now went through that 21-day challenge and was just super excited, but there wasn't another step. They'd be kind of lost. So that's when the next step would come into play, where there's a more expensive option, where there's an accelerated program with one-on-one training and private coaching. And I know people pay all the time way more than $1,500 to get those kind of results. So that's one example. Let me give you one more. Well, let's give it the test first. And if we go back to that slide, and I don't know if my slide is actually, I might have to go back. Oh yeah, so this actually breaks it down. So with the $47 program, are there 60 people that will pay for that if you keep marketing it and marketing it, marketing? Probably. $47 is pretty reasonably priced for people to get great results. Now the next step is that $450 challenge. All we need are 40 people. So you convert, 40 of those 60 people, maybe only half, maybe you convert 30, then you get a couple more new clients. So that's $18,000 just by this simple weight loss solution. Then you've got that accelerated weight loss program. So of those 40, 20 want to continue on with you, that's $30,000. And then finally, you have private coaching for other people that want more one-on-one support, and people that are busy with their corporate jobs or just really have a lot on their plate will pay more for that private coaching. And even if you only have 10 clients working with you for, maybe 5 clients for the first 6 months and 5 clients for the next 6 months. I mean, this is in a whole year. That's where you end up by kind of taking the test to see if that is a great value ladder that's going to lead to your $100,000 a year business. So that's one example. I'm hoping this is helpful a little bit, breaking it down a little bit further. I think as entrepreneurs, we tend to start on a process or a kind of a plan, but we don't really think of it as a full year plan. And then we get kind of uncommitted or get distracted and we go off in a different direction. But if you can define your year-long plan and work it, it's very easy to do these kind of numbers. So let's go to example number 2. This is my focus is to help aspiring authors with one solution to write and publish a book. My one system, this is how I have it broken down, is by speaking or doing online networking. I have a free ebook that will turn into a $97 video series. I have an 8-week course that will turn into a 6-month mastermind with private support. In addition, there's private coaching, and I didn't even get into any of my publishing services. So let's break it down and do the test to see if this is a $1 million business idea. Are there X amount of people who will pay to learn how to easily write a book? So let's go through the numbers. Got the free ebook, the $97 video series, and that's in a whole year, get 60 people to do that. An 8-week course. Now, my course is 12 weeks, but and the pricing isn't the same, but it's evolved over the last couple years. But all I need is 40 people to do that 8-week course in a year-long period. Then we go into a 6-month mastermind. I only need 8 people or half of that group to convert to that. And then finally, private coaching. So 10 clients in a whole year can bring in some pretty nice money. So there you go, $150,000 just on one focus. So that's, I'm hoping, will give you some ideas on what you can do to kind of create and elevate your area of expertise and build a profitable business model that your book is going to fit into, because your book isn't meant to be the profit center. It's meant to attract people to your business to make or help you profit in other ways. And here is kind of an example of what your value ladder should look like. This is where you're going to put your book on the very bottom and then have all the different offerings as you go up. As you go up with the value you provide your clients, of course, the price will go up. So I promised I would share my $1,000 in a day strategy. And this is really to help you make money and get paid for your book before it's even done. And it really is about designing your book backwards. The premise I have for my book creation course is that your focus of your book is your signature message. It's your signature talk. It's your signature elevator pitch. It's your signature course, your coaching, your support, your consultation services. If you get really clear on how you can be seen as the go-to person in that area, all of this content is really the same. And your course is maybe 12 modules. Your book could have maybe 12 chapters. If you do a story, a chapter in a book, like what I work with my clients in our Overcoming Mediocrity books, they take 3 of those points and use them with their story. And it's basically the same message. So what we're going to do, and the strategy for writing your book backwards, is to start with a $97 beta 4-hour mini course on your specific area of expertise. $97, that's all you have to charge. And if you provide a lot of content in a 4-hour mini course, now that could be broken up into 4 modules. It doesn't have to be done in 4 hours. But if you have really clear messaging on the offer that your course will provide, and you really knock it out of the park with all of the content and the stories and the resources you're providing in this mini course, $97 is a steal. And so for that, all you need to have is 10 beta students. And I would say for that, I would say your mini course is normally $197, and you're going to offer it for $97 to just 10 beta students, in the hopes, or no, you're offering it to that price on the condition, that was a word I was looking for, that when the course is done, they're going to give you a truthful testimonial and feedback so you can make the course better. So I did that the first time I did my book creation course. I offered it at a really great price with my beta students, and it helped me refine my course, as well as it helped me make some great money. You have to really make sure that you're focused on the objectives of your course, and you want to have a few modules and learning chapters. So the chapters of your book could be, you will extract a few of these for your course. And then you want to just basically have a conclusion. So when you really break down your book is basically an intro, a body, and a conclusion. It's like everything you do, it's very simple. Tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. Have some sort of a conclusion or call to action. And that is really the framework for your book. And then you extract those to do your course. And then it helps you kind of refine your content for your book, as well as it's going to refine and have you become more clear on the struggles that your ideal clients or the prospects for this book are actually having. And you'll have a lot of great stories to share in the book as well. And so if you have just 10 people that take this beta mini course, that's $1,000. And you can do this, like I'm actually doing this for my book creation course. I'm writing a book. I'm in the process of writing a book. I don't know if I'll ever finish, because I'm not sure if people want to read a book on writing a book or read a book on publishing, because publishing always changes. But the framework of my book that I've been creating for the last 2 years is the premise of my course. So it's, if you really look at it that way and break it down, it's just a simple framework. And then, or 10 students at $97, or you want to offer at a lesser price, it would be 20 students at $47. So you'd probably want 21 students actually to get that $1,000. And again, your value ladder is how it's all structured. So you have your $97 product. Ooh, oops, let me back up. Oh gosh. think there's automation that I didn't know was going to go by itself. So a $97 product. Maybe not. Well, anyways, it all starts with a $97 product. So the homework for you before the next module is to really spend some time thinking about how your book is going to fit into your profitable business model. You know, it's not difficult. And if anybody wants to have a strategy call to really kind of just define for your specific business, I would love to do that. Putting together your profitable business model and your value ladder isn't hard, but sometimes it's hard for us to do ourselves. So this is the link to schedule a call. It's just simply chatwithchristy.com, schedule a 30-minute call, completely complimentary. I just want to do this to make sure that the students that are going through these modules are really on the right track. Now these calls are really only good for the next week and a half, is just during the time frame of when I'm offering the free trial classes. If you watch this training like a month later, I'm not saying that I won't do it, but it's not an offer that I'm having to be on an ongoing basis. But if anybody needs support, go ahead and reach out to me. Other than that, I'm hoping that you found that this module is helpful in really creating clarity around your focus of your book. And the next course is when we're going to dive into creating the framework. So that way you are getting like a great outline together. I've got a really great strategy on how to bring those components together so you know what content is going to be in your book that's going to provide the best value for your audience's specific needs. And that's all I have for today. So I'm hoping that you found it to be helpful. I would like to go ahead and stop sharing the screen and see if anybody has any questions. So does anybody have any questions at this point on any of those pieces I shared? Oh, thanks, Patty. I'm glad to see you. No questions? Nope. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. I will see you next Tuesday.
Where are we going? Where are we going next week?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see. We can go to the moon. Let's see. I've got that. How's that? Or we can do this. Go wherever you want, Michelle.
I'm always good at forms.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I'm staying here for today. So thanks, ladies.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now.